My name is Linda Windles, and I live in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I'm going to be tying the purple haze, which works really well almost everywhere that I fish, especially in Montana. I think of it as a Montana fly. I'm going to get everything out first.
How long have you been tying at the expo?
To be honest with you, I don't know. At least 10 years, maybe longer.
What advice would you give people that are afraid to start?
Fly tying is very therapeutic. It's very relaxing. You have to concentrate so you don't think about anything else except what you're doing. And I would encourage people to start. If you're going to fish, you should be able to tie your own flies. So I would encourage people to do it. And there's a certain amount of satisfaction going out and fishing and catching a fish with your own fly. So I would say go for it. Okay, get a hook on here and we'll get started. Now I will say that this is my version of a purple haze. The original one did not have a thorax. It had this flexi floss or wonder wrap that went all the way up. I put a thorax on it. It's basically the chest area, the area behind the eye, back about a quarter of the hook length. And I'm using something called tailing fibers for the tail. And the tail is going to be approximately the length of the hook. I usually measure first and then put the fibers on, and it'll be pretty close. And just so they don't hang down, I'm going to take one wrap underneath. Okay, now we're going to do the wonder wrap. There's a lot of manufacturers that make this, but and they all have different names, but it's all basically the same stuff. It's stretchable, and it comes in colors. And you go back basically to the barb of the hook. And then you start wrapping. You put a little pressure on this, but not a lot. And you wrap one wrap next to the one before it. So you're not overlapping, you're wrapping them next to. Okay, that's about 3/4 of the hook. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I use McFly line. A lot of people use calf. calf is very white. It's also very slippery. I like using this synthetic. I think I get, well, I certainly get less frustrated. And I also think I get a better parachute with this.
You're just in time for the parachute. Oh, great.
Well, Kyle was so quick. I think I'll go with the way you do it. I'm not saying I didn't learn anything from Kyle, but most of it I just didn't grasp because he was doing it so quickly. So I'll go with the way you do it.
Well, I'm going to wrap around the base of the parachute and go up. I don't know how far that is, maybe 1/8 of an inch. And this gives the hackle a base. See how nice and straight it stands up? I already cut the feather, which I trimmed just the bottom part that I'm gonna adhere to the parachute. And these little pieces that stick out will catch the thread really well, so it will most likely adhere to the parachute. Okay, I'm going to go up to the top of where I wrap the thread, and I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to work down. And then I'm going to take my thread and go underneath the hackle, and I'm going to manipulate it so that I can accomplish that. And I'm going to do this a couple times just to be sure that it's not going to come loose. And then I'm going to tie off behind the eye of the hook. Well, I don't want to give it up, so there we go.
That's where I've been struggling.
Well, it's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. And I ended up pulling this too much because I was trying to hold the stuff back and still wrap and not get the fibers caught. But if you're probably going to catch a couple anyway, and you can just clip them off. I mean, that still looks good.
Oh, but I think I'll cut off those two big long hackles when I'm done with them, just to get them out of the way.
And you trim your parachute to about the length of the hook. Okay, so it's all glued and
You ready for fishing in July?
yes,
Thank you, Linda.
you're welcome. Happy to do it. Come on. There.
Thank you.